Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Kennedy, and in this installment of Reiki Business Success, we're going to talk about some groundwork to visit before you begin seeing your Reiki clients. We're going to cover some things today about motivation, training, your confidence as a Reiki practitioner, and issues about money and more. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that so more people can find it and learn about Reiki. First of all, what's your motivation for entering into this business? I know for me, it was all about helping people. And in the first business I started in Idaho, it was about helping animals. I just started volunteering. I didn't even look at it as a business. I just wanted to get out there and help animals. I had sort of this inner push that I couldn't deny. It was just, I want to help, I want to help, I want to help. I want to see animals with Reiki. Over and over, it just would occur to me about every single day that I wanted to do this. So it was very much that those thoughts were guiding me. And then I looked at, well, how do I answer that? So I put a packet together about Reiki and a cover letter, and I went to my veterinarian's office where we took our dogs to, and I gave them the packet about Reiki and just asked if I could volunteer there. They came back with a yes, and that's how I started there. Things went really well. I found out I could communicate with the animals, which was a surprise. And so more people brought animals, and then the veterinarian said to me, we think you need to start charging. And I hadn't planned on it, so I needed to figure out how I was going to do that. And then it was one step at a time. But the motivation for me back then, and the motivation for me when I started here again in Saline in Michigan after we moved and everything, was helping people, helping animals the first time, and then primarily people the second time around. I really don't see too many animals these days. I feel like my real focus is on people. So, but in both cases, it's all about, for me, it was all about helping people, helping animals, and not being able to keep a lid on this thing called Reiki that I love, because I did another video earlier about some reasons I love Reiki, so you can always go back and see that. But I love Reiki. How do you keep a lid on Reiki? I couldn't do it. I just needed to help more people. Having a Reiki business and having it succeed is going to take a drive to want to help people. I think that's, to me, that is a pure intention. And if you want to do that, I think Reiki will help you succeed for sure. The next thing to look at when you're contemplating starting a business is your Reiki training. Do you feel confident in your Reiki training? Do you feel confident in perhaps who your teacher was? Are they still available to you? So as you move forward, are they going to be available so you can ask questions if you run into situations that you might want to ask for advice? If your teacher's still there, please use them as a resource if they welcome that. Maybe you wonder if you've had enough training. Well, Mrs. Takata actually offered sessions to patients at Dr. Hayashi's clinic in Japan, and she only had level 1. So I wouldn't really worry about, what level you are as far as Reiki training goes. I think what's more important is the experience that you've had. Do you do self-Reiki every day? Have you had a lot of sessions with animals, with people? How about volunteering? I know I've volunteered with the pets. I volunteered at Roswell Park Cancer Institute in Buffalo. I volunteered in various other smaller venues or with people that I knew and they had family members. So I volunteered quite a lot. And volunteering, I think, is just hugely helpful because it's low risk. There's no fail to it at all, right? You don't have an investment other than your time. And it gives you an opportunity to talk about Reiki, to have sessions, and to come up in situations where you might have questions to work out. But all that experience is really helpful moving into your business because, you've seen a lot of situations, you've given a lot of Reiki before, answered questions that people had and that kind of thing. So training, not too important. I think the level, I think any level can do Reiki as a business, but look at your experience and how comfortable you are talking about Reiki? If people come to you, do you stammer if you need to explain what Reiki is, or if they have a Reiki question? How confident are you in talking about Reiki? Because when you're confident about it, it shows you know what you're doing and that you trust Reiki, that you have a relationship with Reiki that's ongoing, and that helps you be more of an expert because you're comfortable in the field of your study, which of course is Reiki. That creates a foundation that's very solid, and then you can move forward with that confidence to help more people or more animals or both, whatever you're focused on. And when we're confident about Reiki, I just want to say this, it isn't that I'm really confident about myself with Reiki. I don't look at myself as a healer. I've said that before. I just look at myself as someone who makes themselves available. I'm sort of a gateway or a bridge. I tap into the Reiki energy and make it available for my clients. I try my best to get out of the way. Now, the beauty of that is, I've had times where I might be questioning, oh gosh, are my sessions good enough? Am I doing the best for my client? Are they having the results that I want them to have? These kinds of things. And then I realize, oh yeah, I don't do the healing. It's the Reiki that does it. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to relax and just trust the Reiki. And when you relax, remembering that you're not the one doing the heavy lifting of the healing work, you can just focus on the business part and allow Reiki to do what Reiki does. Reiki's the spiritually guided life force energy. It knows what to do. So it's so fantastic to remind ourselves of that, relax, because the results that your clients will see will be wonderful. Why? Because Reiki knows what it's doing. The bottom line is, you don't have anything to worry about as far as your sessions go. Let Reiki take care of all of that. Your job is the business side. Your job is communicating with your potential clients and your established clients. Your job is representing Reiki in a professional and positive way. That's your side of all of this. The healing work, that's Reiki's responsibility, and Reiki will come through for you every single time. So you can just relax all about that and not worry. You will need to have commitment and focus in order to build your practice as a successful business as well. Now, when I first started out, I didn't know what I didn't know. There are things like a website, accounting, documentation, how do you advertise effectively, what are the smart things to do, what are the pitfalls. I didn't really know a lot of that stuff, and I have to say that I often would feel overwhelmed. And what I would do is I would just sort of realize I felt overwhelmed, and then I would take a step back. And I would ask myself, what do I know for sure? What is my next thing that I must do? And that would be pretty clear. And I have to say, I think Reiki helped me a lot with that. And I trusted Reiki to guide me. And it does. It will guide you. I would do the next thing that I knew I needed to do. And each step of the way, I sort of asked myself that. I didn't think that it was that important that I knew 10 steps ahead. You just can't really do that. You don't know when you're starting out exactly where you're going to end up or in what order you're going to do things. And that's totally fine. You just do the next thing and then ask, what's the next thing? Allow Reiki to help you along the way. As things come up, you're going to have to probably get a little bit out of your comfort zone. I had to spend time learning how to make a website. I had to design my business cards. I wrote a brochure for myself. I did all kinds of things. I made my own intake forms, all sorts of things that business owners need to do. You'll need to do too. But the good news is at the beginning, you probably won't have a completely full schedule of clients. So in the beginning, what you do is you don't feel bad about not being fully booked. You use the time that you would see your clients to work on the website, work on your print material, and build your business behind the scenes. And if you do that, if you invest your time if not with clients, but with these other things, you're perpetually working on your business. You can take time to learn things. You can look on YouTube for other videos about the business aspects, and you just need to know that you're not stopping learning just because you're making this Reiki business a success. You will continue to learn, and you have to be open to that. It's an investment. And speaking of investment, that makes me think of money. So let's talk about money for a minute. I want you to imagine that you're in your Reiki treatment room and you are seeing a client, and it's beautiful, the energy's flowing, they've relaxed, they're feeling fantastic. You're closing the session out, and it's time now that they're going to need to pay you. And if you think about this, if you put yourself in that situation, how does it make you feel as you extend your hand to accept their money? It's really important how you feel, because what's going to happen every single time you have a session and you extend that hand, you're going to energetically project your feelings about accepting money to that other person every single time. You've got to be in a positive place about accepting the money. If you're not, there's going to be an undercurrent of some sort of negativity about it, a hesitancy, a reluctance, and they may not pick up on that consciously, but energetically they'll get it. So in order for you to build this Reiki practice and make it a success, if you feel any reluctance at all, any embarrassment, any sort of stigma related with accepting that money, that is top of your list, high priority. You need to get some help, perhaps Reiki or journal, some self-reflection, and address this issue. It's super, super important. If you want to have a successful Reiki business, you're going to have to be okay with accepting money for your services. And I'll tell you, it's worth it. So you've probably invested thousands of dollars to get where you are now, about your Reiki practice, about your own healing, so that you feel like you're ready to get out there and help other people. But not only that, hours and hours and hours of practice. How do you put a price on that? I don't know. I don't aim to do that. All I know is that when my clients come to see me, each and every one, I just feel blessed that they're there. I am humbled that they're there. And whatever's going on in my life at that time, I completely set that aside, and my focus 100% is on that person during that whole time that they're in my office. I think it's so important to do that for your success as well. So you're going to be 100% focused on them, very much in gratitude for the fact that they chose you to come to for this session. And remember that, you're the expert in this, and they have sought you out for a service. And we have no problem in paying for services in our culture. Just because Reiki is more of a spiritual practice doesn't mean that the exchange of money isn't valid for it. Little children who sing beautifully, it could be argued that they have a God-given talent. But if they put on a show in Vegas or, any huge venue, do we hesitate to buy a ticket because it's sort of a God-given talent? I don't think so. Even though Reiki is more spiritual in nature, you're sharing your time and your expertise and your 100% focus with them, and being a bridge and being a clear Reiki channel for them so that they can have the opportunity to be helped for their highest good. And there is absolutely not one thing wrong with trading that for money. That's what we do in our culture all the time, every single day. Well, that sort of concludes my list for what I wanted to talk to you about in this video regarding the groundwork or the foundation before you open your doors for Reiki clients. In the next video, I'm going to talk to you about those 3 legal questions to address before you see Reiki clients as well. So stay tuned for that one, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so more people will see it when they visit YouTube. It'll come up in their suggestions, and we can spread Reiki to more and more people, and that's good for all of us. So until then, Reiki on, and thanks for watching.